Roberson back to pass with time, lofts it deep in the corner for the end zone. Vasher's there, and he intercepts it in the end zone.
Oh, over the top, Vaccaro's after Maynard, and he got him. What an athletic play by Kenny Vaccaro.
You know all about DBU. You were a defensive back at Texas State. I know as a fan you knew about DBU growing up. As a player up the road, you saw what was going on in Austin. Now that you're here, how important is it to maintain that legacy of being known as DBU?
It's huge. I think with what those guys did back in the past and what they established here, the demeanor, the work ethic, I think it's huge, and it's something that we continually preach to our guys now on the legacy that the Michael Huffs, the Aaron Rosses, the Quentin Jammers, variety of different guys that Earl Thomases that I'm leaving out, but the legacy that they have built and left. When those DBU guys come on in, you know, it's special to sit down with them, talk to them about how much success that they had here and what we need to do to continue it. So it's huge.
When you talk about the current crop of defensive backs and specifically cornerbacks, Holton Hill, Devontae Davis, to name a few, how much talent is there in that secondary at the cornerback position? It's
a talented group. You know, a big thing that we continue to talk about is competition. Right now, it's clean across the board, and what I'm looking for are guys that are hungry to compete, guys that want to do everything right on a consistent basis, because to play corner is a tough position, especially in today's game. Receivers have gotten bigger, they've gotten faster, offenses are going 100 miles per hour, and so I'm looking for those guys that got that attitude, that want to compete, do everything right, do the little things right, and that are productive.
You're also a Texas guy. Did you grow up a Longhorns fan?
I did. Being from San Antonio, I grew up a Longhorn fan. Of course, watching all those teams coming up and the success that they had and what they were about and this program was about, I was sporting my UT gear everywhere.
We got to be great today. Strive for perfection. Tight. Run. Come on, Jay. Better, Howard. Run, Howard. Yeah. Here, give me some.
If there's one trait or even one word you would use to describe your ideal cornerback, what would it be?
One word, goodness. Just the athlete across the board. Just somebody that can do it all. You know, you got to be that versatile, being a corner, and so just a pure athlete would be perfect.
You faced and pretty much shut down a number of top offenses last year, top quarterbacks, Heisman Trophy winner Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma, who you'll see again this upcoming season. How did you all, the cornerbacks, that unit, stand their ground against great quarterbacks?
First, you know, we talked about up front, getting pressure up front. We always a big believer in everything works if guys up front are doing their job. We got an opportunity to do ours. And so from there, it was just making sure that we were maintaining leverage, keeping our eyes in the proper spot. And whenever the opportunity, the ball came into the air, we had to make plays and be productive. So those guys did a good job on it. And of course, like I said up front, with the D-line and linebackers, they were creating pressure and made our job that much easier.
Your coaching path has taken some interesting turns. A few years ago, you did a coaching internship for the Minnesota Vikings. What was that like?
Oh, it was incredible. Leslie Frazier was the guy that my kind of point of contact there. Was able to have an opportunity to get around those guys and see how pros do it. And that's the thing that we constantly preach with our guys, or be a pro, take care of your body. Cedric Griffin was a former UT guy that was there. Antoine Winfield was a guy that I was really around, and they had a lot of success in the league. And so I was hungry to learn from those guys on what it took to be a successful DB.
I know you're a defensive guy at heart, but you said in the past that Barry Sanders is an inspiration to you. Why are you such a big fan of Barry?
I liked his demeanor and how he approached the game. A lot of people told me he couldn't do stuff because of his size, and I was similar to that. And so I was always wanted to make a liar out of people. And I thought, listening to Barry Sanders and seeing what he did, he definitely did that with his size and speed and a variety of different things that made him successful in the league.
As a true journalist, I'd be remiss not to bring up a story I found where you were lip-syncing to Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby a little over a year ago, and doing it with gusto, not just lip-syncing. You were actually saying the lyrics out loud before you took off from Houston and came over here to Austin. Did you lose a bet or something there?
It was unfortunate. Whenever I got on the plane to go to the Peach Bowl, Tori comes over to me and says, "Hey, your name just got brought up and you're competing in a contest." And I'm like, "Oh, great. What type of contest?" She was like, "You're lip singing to a certain song, so you can choose from one of these three." And I was unfamiliar with the other two, so I was like, "Hey, I know what Ice Ice Baby's about." So I'm a real big believer in if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right and do it hard. And so I've always been a Vanilla Ice fan growing up, and so I had the opportunity to do it and ran with it. So it was fun. I enjoyed it and had a good time with it.
Finally, before we let you go, what are your specific goals for your unit, the cornerbacks, this spring?
The big thing is just developing a relationship and a love for each other and come together as an entire group. At corner, it's going to take not just one or two people, it's going to take an entire village. And so that's the thing that we're talking about, is coming together as a group. And then from there, once we're able to come together, now guys are living and dying for each other and helping each other out and coaching each other. And then from there, after we get done with that, then that comes to production and having fun and making plays and a variety of different things like that. So that's a big thing that we're trying to emphasize right now.